Welcome to Food Exposed, where each week we take a look at the story behind what's on your plate. I'm your host, Jackie Keller, and today our topic is Lessons from a Master, what I know now that I wish I knew then. And speaking of old lessons that we know now are good for us that we wish we knew when, there's some current nutrition knowledge that is really based in old wisdom. For example, follow the DASH diet or the Mediterranean diet that emphasizes fruits, vegetables, fish, whole grains, poultry, and nuts. Spread your protein evenly throughout the day. At NutriFit, we make great recovery smoothies for this very purpose. Our chocolate power smoothie is a great example. Pack in nutrient-dense foods. These are foods that offer high nutrition value for a low-calorie load. And also consider almonds, walnuts, sunflower seeds, and lentils as an important part of your diet. Find easy ways to put more of what you know you need into each meal. And veggies, for example, adding veggies to your breakfast eggs, keeping fruit in your car, having water readily available. And think long-term. Ask yourself, is this sustainable? A more realistic approach will result in more consistent results that you can celebrate 6 months or a year from now down the road. My guest today is Ric Drasin, a wrestler, a bodybuilder, a master in his field, and now an author and a talk show host. Ric Drasin developed the brand for Gold's Gym and World Gym back in the early 1970s. He developed the original logos. And over the years, Ric has had a successful career as a wrestler. He's also used this career in pro wrestling to create many designs pertaining to that sport and logos for many gyms around the world. This resulted in his creating his own brand, the Ric Drasin's Corner, which is now his own talk show. Ric has brought back the golden era of bodybuilding to his show. He uses it to educate people as to what it was like back in the day training with Arnold and the boys at the original Mecca in Venice Beach. Ric says there's only a few of us left and I need to carry on the history of the sport and where it all began. Ric, welcome to
Thank you, Jackie.
Exposed.
It's nice to be here. You know, you got to carry on things. You got to carry the torch because someone has to do it. And there's very few of my friends left that can do it, and so I figured, well, I'll be the historian. I know what went on, and from my own experiences, I'll start this show and I'll write some books, and it's just taken off and become something really big.
Well, I know you have a lot to share, and you know, in talking with young people, and I know that you reach out to audiences of all ages, I'm sure there's some wisdom that you have sort of gleaned over the years, things that you may have done differently had you known then what you know now. And I'm hoping that you can share some of those tips with our audience.
Well, the first one I'd like to share that has nothing to do with nutrition and fitness is that I never knew how handsome I would look with a shaved head, and I should have done it when I was 10. But can't go back and do that now. Now we just carry from this point on. But there's a lot of things that I can share. I had someone write to me once, and they said, the bodybuilding diet of the 70s, all right, we're going back a few years, would that work on my body today? And well, the body didn't change. It's the same thing functioning the same way, and that diet worked for us then, it'll work for us now. You know as well as anybody, there's different types of nutrition and supplements you can take nowadays to make it work even better, but it still works. It still works.
All that having been said, would you change your training technique now if you had it to do over again?
Well, I started as a power lifter, and powerlifting gave me the base for strength and the core for size in my chest and legs and back and all that. And I benched 455. That's a lot of weight.
Wow.
But because of that, I have joint injury. I have arthritis in my shoulder. I ripped a tricep. I tore both quads. I need a knee replacement.
Oh my God!
Yes,
all those replacement parts.
There's a lot of parts there I can't get down at pick and save anymore. But you know, it came from heavy lifting, and we all have egos when we're young, and we have to lift heavy because we're trying to impress.
Right.
But it doesn't really matter when you walk down the street. If you look good and you look big, you can say I'm strong.
Yeah.
You can, if you look good and you have a great body and you're muscular, you say, hey, I'm Mr. America. No one's going to doubt you.
Right.
The thing I would do now differently, if we're going back, I'd stay a little bit lighter in the weight and do a little more reps and just keep the hard muscle and watch my diet. See, back in the 70s, nobody really knew a whole lot about what to eat. Nutrition wasn't a thing.
So tell me how your nutrition habits have changed.
Well, I add more vegetables and fruit than I ever did. In the days that we trained and I was wrestling and for bodybuilding, it was the high protein, low carb, and no carbs until Sunday. So you would starve yourself all week.
Oh
and then
my goodness.
It's, you know, Sundays was the house of pies, you know. Spaghetti, meatballs, cheesecake, and you crawl away from the table on all fours and burping it up until Monday when you get to the gym.
Goodness gracious.
But it worked.
Okay.
But you know, and I've heard you say this before, the minute you deviate off that diet and go back to normal eating, you blow up again.
Right. And, you know, I get that a lot with young people who say, I just want to lean out, I want to build mass, I know I need protein, I want no carbs. And, you know, it's such a fight to get people to have fruits and vegetables that are stuck in that mentality.
Well, if they taste good, I don't have a problem with that. If it's just not appealing to me, then I won't eat it. I'm so used to eating my proteins first at a meal and get those out of the way, because my mind says, okay, they're going to absorb first into the muscle, I'm getting more muscle. Then I'll finish up with the other veggies.
But you know better than that,
Of course
right?
I do. I mean, I could put it all in the blender and drink it down, just get done and leave in half the time. But it's in my head. I got to have my protein every meal.
Well, what advice would you give to young guys who want to build muscle, who want to get, you know, big and fit and look ripped when they walk down the street, but really don't want to compromise their long-term results?
Well, the best thing they can do, 80% is part of what your body is your nutrition. You have to take in foods that will make your body grow into what you want it to grow into. Training is a part of it. You train, don't strain. Don't go overboard and lift heavy and kill yourself and then have to recover and you can't recover. You train in moderation, a medium weight to lightweight, 10, 15 reps, 20 reps, and then every once in a while you can go a little bit heavier because your ego's going to want you to do it. But the main thing is, I get up and I have breakfast. I think breakfast is really important.
What do you have usually?
I have eggs. I have 4 egg whites and a bowl of oatmeal with some sweet and low on it. I might have a half English muffin with peanut butter and a little bit of a protein drink, my vitamins, a little bit of water, and then I'm ready to go.
And are there foods that you definitely don't eat?
I don't like macaroni and cheese. My kids like macaroni and cheese. Everybody likes macaroni and cheese. I don't think I've ever had it. And I don't even want to try it. To me, it looks like glue.
Okay.
So I don't want to glue my insides shut. So I don't eat that. I'm not big on potatoes or mashed potatoes. To me, it's a waste for me. Rice, I like brown rice. I like white rice. Vegetables I like when they're steamed, if they're done right.
Okay.
I like a really good salad, and I love fresh fruit.
All right.
But I always would eat my fresh fruit separately from my proteins because I'm under the assumption that they create gas.
Oh, really?
The protein and the fruits together. I was told this years ago, so I don't want the gas.
Well,
Gas prices are up.
That's old wisdom. That's old wisdom, Rick.
It's old school stuff.
That is.
I got enough gas. And gas is too high anyway. So I'll have a separate time when I eat my fruit in the afternoon.
Okay.
I mean, I still get it. I just don't mix it with the protein.
Do you train regularly still?
Every day.
Every day.
I'm a beast. I mean, I go in 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, because I get up in the morning, I have my breakfast, and the gym is my office. You know, when you get out of bed, you need a goal. You just don't get up and sit around the house. And since I work at home and do stuff at home, I have to get out of the house.
Okay.
Going to the gym keeps the enthusiasm up. It keeps your motivation. You interact with other people. The gym I go to is people in the entertainment business, so we have a lot to talk about. And then I go to Starbucks and have a coffee and make my notes for what I have to do for the day. So getting up in the morning, getting out and getting some exercise invigorates you, get your body going, eating nutritional-wise, and go.
And for charging up your metabolism?
Yeah, absolutely. Getting out and doing that brings it right up.
Well, you know, my mom was not big on nutrition knowledge. I mean, I didn't learn it necessarily from her, but I have learned over the years, like you mentioned, the importance of having a great breakfast. So I thought today we might take a minute and whip up some great eggs, a wonderful high-protein breakfast that really sneaks in some of those veggies that we all know we should have. Will you join me, Rick?
Absolutely, and that's no yolk.
Let's go cook.
Okay.
So it's time for breakfast, and you know, we all have our agenda in the morning, and sometimes you have a lot of time and sometimes you don't. So I thought today what we would do is construct a quick, easy, simple breakfast that could even be made the night before that virtually will load your day, kind of preset you for an aggressive, active day at the gym or at the office. And the key ingredients that we're featuring today are egg whites. Now, this is, you could crack some whole eggs, and some people can afford the yolk, and other people really need to watch the amount of
Right.
cholesterol in their diet. So this product, which comes in many forms, is a liquid egg white that has a little annatto, which is a natural yellow food coloring. So it's a completely natural product, 99.9% egg white.
It's funny that you bring that up because I was thinking this morning leaving the gym, I'm going to buy some of this. I
This
just
is
wasn't sure to get.
Yeah, Trader Joe's has it. There's a, you can buy it in any grocery store.
Okay.
But basically speaking, it stays fresh in your refrigerator, which is another reason I really like it, because you can open the carton, you can kind of pour it out.
How do you know how much you need to get?
Well, a cup is, there's 4 cups in this.
Okay.
So I figure if I can feel it, then I'm doing about a cup. That is only about 100 calories, and it's all egg white.
Okay.
So we get a little bit going, and you can see it cooks up really quick. So what we're going to do is add in some seasoning, and I like to use my salt and sugar-free spice blends. This one's the Mediterranean, because I'm calling this the Italian breakfast wrap. And there's nothing really particularly Italian about it, but everybody likes Italian food, so we're going to call it Italian breakfast wrap. We're going to season this up. Now, this egg product does have a little bit of sodium in it, so you really don't want to add in salt.
Right, exactly.
You want to add in is flavor.
Exactly.
And so garlic in the morning is a little bit much for me, but I'm going to go ahead and just add in my Italian blend and add in some veggies. Now, I like to pre-chop my veggies at the beginning of the week and store them in these food-safe containers.
So they're ready to go?
So they're ready to go. And what I do is I set myself up at the beginning of the week with maybe one of zucchini, one of tomatoes. I might do one with onions, one with bell peppers, whatever I happen to have, and I put them in these containers. And then, if at the end of the week I haven't used it, I put them all in a big pot and I make soup.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Just add the matzo ball.
And now some tomato, because as you know, being a guy, right, tomatoes are an important source of lycopene. Lycopene is that phytonutrient that helps protect the prostate. So we want to have tomatoes in everything we do.
I still have a prostate? I guess I do. I've never seen it, but maybe this will bring it out.
So, basically the egg is setting up as we're chatting here, and you can see we're ending up with a nice scramble. And we're going to add in a little bit more protein in the form of some turkey sausage. And I'm using an all-natural turkey sausage here that doesn't have any nitrates, because, you have to be careful with bacon and sausage. If you buy conventionally processed bacon and sausage, they have nitrates. Nitrates are potentially carcinogenic. You really don't want them. Even though they're food safe, they're not the best idea.
What about the sodium?
And you got to watch the sodium.
Exactly.
Good point, good point. So pick your brand carefully, I guess, is the message.
Pick your brand and pick your brain before you pick your brand.
Oh, Rick.
I'm just full of them today.
You are. But you see how quickly this cooks, and it looks and smells just...
Smells great.
Isn't that great? Great. And now, some people like cheese, some people don't. I'm a fan of low-fat mozzarella cheese, just to kind of hold it all together, and then a little bit of parsley, because we want that vitamin C and that little extra bit of nutrition. So it's basically ready to go, and all in a matter of 5 minutes maybe at the most.
This is quick.
Isn't it quick? And it looks and smells just yummy. So now the question becomes, do you want to wrap it? Do you want to roll it? Do you just want to shove it in? I think we should roll it, huh?
If that's what you prefer.
Yes, well, shoving it in probably not the best idea on camera.
Okay, I'm not going to touch that one.
Okay. So all we're going to do now is spoon some in, and I'm using a little whole wheat lavash wrap. This is a very thin, paper-thin whole wheat product. Has almost no calories whatsoever, but the calories that it does have are all whole grain.
This is multi-purpose, by the way.
Yeah.
You can use it as a paper towel.
Oh, don't.
No.
Please don't cook.
Okay.
Okay. So there you go. And depending on how big of a breakfast you want, how much your appetite is, you want to create a sort of a line of your egg and your sausage there.
You have to have enough room to roll it, because I've done things where there's nothing, and as I roll it, it's coming out the other side.
Okay, so now it's your turn.
I have to roll this, huh?
You have to roll it, yeah.
Without ripping it.
Without ripping it.
That's like doing sushi.
Okay.
This is a breakfast roll.
Yes, it is. In a manner of speaking.
No fishy. There you go. Look at that. How nice and even. You just have to staple.
See how easy
you have to
that
staple
is?
the sides of everything.
And now what you could do is you could actually saran wrap that, pack it up, take it in the car, eat it on the go. It's great to...
Or you can make a few of them and put them in the refrigerator for the following day.
You could
See
indeed.
there?
You could indeed. But right now what I want you to do is taste it and tell me how it is.
Okay, I will do that. Here we go. Oh, Jackie.
Did I burn your mouth? No, are you all right?
No, it's delicious.
Yay. Yay.
This is really good.
Isn't that a nice, easy way to get that thing to, you know, that's a great way to start your day.
I can feel my muscles starting to grow already. This is really good.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you so
You're hired.
much. All right. Well, you know, speaking of hiring, I know that people are out there, they're looking for you, they want to connect with you. You have a ton of resources for people to take advantage of. What's the best way for them to find you?
You can find me on my website at ricdrasin.com. My email is rick@rickdrasin.com. There's no K on Rick. It's RICDRASIN. You can find me on rickscorner.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me in the city of Sherman Oaks at Starbucks at 10 o'clock in the morning in the men's room reading the paper. Any one of those places will work. This is delicious.
Thank you so much, Rick, for joining me today. And thank you for sharing your wisdom. I really, really appreciate it. And I know that a lot of our viewers will connect with you and follow you on Rick's Corner as well.
Thank you, Jackie. And thank you, people, for watching. Give me the time to share my experiences with you, because I have many. This is just one of them.
And have a wonderful, productive day. I know you will.
I will.
All right.
Thank you.
You know, we all know that it's easy to fall into old habits, and it's sometimes hard to change them. But developing new habits can be easy if we talk about how we can reframe our questions. Reframing our questions is as simple as picking different ways of approaching the same problem. For example, and this tip comes to you from a book by Marley Adams called Change Your Questions, Change Your Life. And wouldn't we all like to change our questions and change our lives? You can pick one of two paths when we talk about changing questions. The first path is called the learner path. The second path is called the judger path. So what I would suggest you do, and it's an interesting experiment, is listen to yourself when you ask questions. Are you judging or are you learning? Is it an open-ended question? Is it a closed-ended question? Do you ask yourself whether I will, or do you tell yourself I won't? Picking your questions, reframing the questions so that you're a learner, not a judger, is going to change the outcome. And that'll help change your positivity, it'll help make you happier, and it'll help you from falling into the same old patterns that have really framed your life so far and allow you to open up to new possibilities, to new questions, to new paths of learning, and to new answers. That's my coaching tip today. Thank you so much for joining me on Food Exposed. I hope you'll watch the show, share it with your friends, share it with your family, and ask them to share it with their friends and their family. And don't forget to join me again next week for another episode of Food Exposed. For more Food Exposed, check me out on emPOWERme.tv. And until next week, remember, make food your best friend and exercise your companion for life.